You're listening to the HR Mixtape, your podcast with the perfect mix of practical advice, thought-provoking interviews, and stories that just hit different so that work doesn't have to feel, well, like work. Now, your host, Shari Simpson.
Joining me today is John Baldino, speaker and president of Humareso. John, as always, thank you for jumping on the podcast with me.
I am so excited to be here, Shari. Thank you so much for having me.
So we are on the SHRM floor. We're actually enjoying some Bellinis, and we have, I think, the best topic today. We are talking about fun.
Yeah, 100%. How could it not be the best topic? And look who you're talking to.
Of course. If you don't know, John actually does this really awesome LinkedIn Live once a week. It's perfect. It's fun. It starts with dancing in their desks.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining.
Yes.
How did it get started?
So I do this LinkedIn Live show with Jackie Clayton, and Jackie actually called me and said, here's what I think. People don't know how fun that life is supposed to be in the work that we do. You and I absolutely are the ambassadors for that. So how about we do an unscripted show, a la Regis and Kathy Lee in decades gone by, and no script. We'll have a topic, but nothing. And we just get on and start chatting, and people comment, and we're responding. And we do this for an hour every Thursday at 10 Eastern time.
It's great. It's great. It's so much fun. So you got to check it out. I will make sure to put a link in the show notes.
Appreciate that.
For anybody. So let's talk about workplace culture and how do we bring fun, genuine fun, back to the workplace?
Yeah, I think so. If we're looking at it in our discipline, right? The discipline of human resources. I think historically what we've seen, and I need to call myself out as well, because I started in personnel a long time ago, many decades ago, and fun was a party.
Yeah.
It was, hosted lunch.
You were an event planner.
Yeah. Right. We did I worked for companies where once a month we had a large sheet cake brought in with everybody's name on it that was going to celebrate that month. I mean, honest, y'all, if you're listening,
birthday sheet cake.
It was and I want to tell you something, I remember September and October, being awful because just in our workplace, we had so many people that were born those months that it was impossible to fit everybody's name. And so everybody's name was minuscule, font 5. You know what I mean? And it was why are we doing this? Nobody even cares and knows. And we did this. This was fun.
Yeah.
Right? That's the definition of fun. Look at how we treat you. We bring you cake and we put balloons up, and we'll do a raffle once a month for company, related.
Did you do raffles for Jeans Day?
Oh, we had charity for Jeans Day. I mean, I wish I was making this stuff up.
No,
do you remember this?
Yes, I did. I worked for a company once where you could pay $5 to the charity to wear jeans on Friday.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? And then in order to also wear the jeans, you did the donation, but then you also had to wear the paper.
Oh, you one-upped it. Yeah.
We did. I remember a company I worked with, we were a huge United Way partner. And so everybody had to wear this United Way paper that we pinned to their, we couldn't even afford the sticker. We literally were copying them on the Xerox and then cutting them out. Y'all, if you're listening to me, I'm telling you the truth, cutting them out by hand and then literally pinning them to people.
How many man hours do you think were involved in the money you spent doing that?
But this was fun, everyone, right? This was fun. This is what we did. And honestly, that it moved very quickly from, I'll say, year 1 fun to year 2 plus labor.
Yeah.
The fun was gone because then it became a task, a project. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I got to cut all these out. The joy was gone.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm sure you know who Jeff Harry is. I'm sure you've seen his stuff. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He is all about fun at work. How do you think we start? Let's start real basic. How do we start to incorporate fun daily tasks?
Yeah.
Just drips of fun throughout the day.
So I think there's a couple answers to that. One, I want to speak to those organizations that I think are hurting the most, and that's around distributed workforces, whether that's hybrid, where there's, a mishmash of people who get to see each other at some sort of cadence, or quite frankly, 100% remote, where people are not engaged physically with one another. And I'm starting there because I think you have to be more intentional about how you build fun into the days. And I will tell you, leveraging your communication platform is a must. So whether you're on Slack or Teams or whatever you're on, lean into those things unapologetically. So I will give you a great, for instance, very practical. At my own organization, Humareso, not everybody ever sees one another physically. They work all over the place. And so fun has to be intentional things being posted in our full team chat that everybody can see. It's not about title or department or division. Everybody can see these things. And you start by bringing things up. So for instance, a couple weeks ago, I posted one morning, I want to see the posters that you had up when you were in high school on your bedroom
Oh my
wall.
gosh, I love this.
And I started people are going to think some sort of way about me, right? So first of all, I have my Janet Jackson poster.
Love.
And the easy thing about this, and I obviously I don't have these posters anymore. My mom may still have them, but I don't have them anymore, right? I just went to Google Images and searched for, Janet Jackson poster, and sure as shooting, there's an image of the poster I had when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing is cutting and pasting that right into Teams.
Super 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes tops.
Right?
Yeah.
I did my Janet Jackson poster, my Vanna White poster. Vanna was something I want y'all to know back in the day. I'm just telling y'all, she was on a haystack a la Jane Russell. I had that poster, right? It's Philly stuff. I just had this stuff. And now everybody's jumping in and doing the same thing. I didn't tell them what to do. I didn't give them the instruction about going onto Google and find. I just said, share what was hanging on your walls.
Yeah.
Right. And I will say some people are probably already feeling apoplectic about me saying this because they're like, I don't want to see some of the things that they had hanging on their wall. Right. But it's safe. Look, put up what you had. And people were putting things up. And then the conversations that were happening between people, or people finding out things about another person that they didn't know. And I have to tell you, I have 20-somethings that work in my organization. When they saw Vanna White, and by the way, everybody, she's clothed. It's not that kind of thing. They were like, oh my gosh, because their frame of reference for Vanna is now.
Yeah.
And she's lovely and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's, she was someone to look to as a young man, different than a young man would look to her today.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And conversations around that, like, oh my gosh, she's really had a career. Oh my gosh, somebody's posting, she wrote a book.
Yeah.
Do you know she cooks? Do you know, all of a sudden these things are being shared. And again, it was so simple to put out there. And so I'm saying that for those with distributed workforces, just start with something conversational.
Yeah.
Be easy. Obviously, if you're in person with one another, get up from your desk, get up from your cubicle, walk around. It's okay to chit chat a little bit. Be thoughtful around shows that maybe people are streaming, to ask, hey, what's the latest binge that you've been on? And people will tell you, they're right? I mean, this Bridgerton thing, I don't get it. I keep trying to tell people, I don't think historically it's accurate.
Probably not.
I really don't think. I appreciate the fantasy of it, but not so much, right? But even in that, the conversations that came up, so my wife loves British shows. My wife does not work at my organization. So when people are sharing about Bridgerton, I'm saying my wife couldn't get into it because she didn't find it historically accurate. She's more a historical fiction person. And somebody else was like, oh my gosh, I actually am too. I feel the same sort of way about this show. That's really, and now I'm connecting with someone that maybe if I didn't even say that about my wife, I wouldn't have found out some more about them. I know some people are like, John, I don't have time for this, but I don't think you're looking at it the right way.
Yeah.
It's going to pay dividends in huge ways down the road.
Yeah. We did an activity in our team where we shared our prom picture in our team's chat.
I love that.
Goodness.
Yeah.
It was wild. I mean, I went to prom many decades ago.
I got you beat, but I'll let you feel like you're old. Keep going.
And they were like, oh my gosh, Shari, that's really you. And I was like, I was like, I was a different human being then.
I mean, we did high school graduation pictures. We've done
love that.
And so I've got all this hair. all the Italian hair you can imagine, all of the hair. And so there are people who are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because they don't have their frame of reference, right?
Yeah.
Like they would have no idea. It's funny.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
I was thinking about your poster thing back to my my
Okay,
high school
who was
days.
hanging?
No, you will find this hilarious. So I grew up I have 3 siblings, so there's 4 of us.
Okay.
So doubled up in the rooms.
Yep.
Not a big house.
Yep.
My sister's 6 years younger than me.
Okay.
So totally not the same age, whatever. Yep. My bedroom was decorated in Jungle Gym Cabbage Patch wallpaper.
I am obsessed with that. You have to find that. I need a picture.
That
Send
I was
that to
not
me.
allowed to hang anything on. So it was.
So it can be fully exposed and enjoyed. Oh my gosh. How is that not the most awesome thing?
Lovely. It was lovely. Lovely. It was great when I had my high school friends over. Please don't look at the Cabbage Patch Kids on my wall.
Listen, do you have your original Cabbage Patch?
You know what? I do. I gave it to my niece, actually.
I mean, these.
Complete with birth certificate.
Oh, man. Xavier, somebody or other signed all those birth certificates because I had to like schlep around with my mom to find one for my sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of stuff, like, look at us just laughing about this.
Yeah.
It's so easy. And it ought to be this conversational in the workplace.
Yeah.
It ought to be that kind of, because there will be people, I know some people will find this hard to believe, where we bring up Cabbage Patch and we might have a 24-year-old at the workplace who's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And then you're bringing up real quick, you grab your phone and you're bringing up, yes, Furby. Like, it's really interesting to see the iterations of
Tamagotchis.
things. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we could sit here for hours.
We could. How do we bring the fun back to corporate training?
Yeah.
You know, I get it. I think our managers learn so much from role playing. I really genuinely do. But I have attended, as an HR person, a ridiculous amount of forced fun learning under the context of learning that I'm like, no, your CEO doesn't want to go on a ropes course. I'm sorry, they just don't.
No, yeah. And honestly, by the way, for some of that, your workers' comp policy doesn't cover that.
Very good point.
Right? I just want to make sure I say that because I know people are like, we're going to do the trust fall. You miss that guy and it's going to be months of claims. I'm
just imagining that scenario in my head.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And then was it worth it? No.
Yeah.
I think you bring up, like, it's a great question. If fun in training is transactional, it's going to feel empty. This is the time in our program where we're going to get up and stretch and walk around with a bingo card and find one other person who also, went to therapy for 5 years. Go. And you're like, wait, what? What are we doing? How did this happen?
It's so random like that all the time, too.
Yes. Yeah. If you had X when you were young, and I'm like, hey, that could be triggering for some people.
Yeah.
Let's not ask, are you an only child? Some people feel that, like, find the only child in the room. And there's one who's like, please, I don't want everyone to talk to me. What are we doing? And I know we're cracking up here. I wish you all could see us. Like, we are cracking up, but it's true. Like, this is the kind of, and here's HR saying, this is fun.
Yeah.
And I think that what we have to remember is, again, if fun is transactional, it's baked into the program as a line item, right? Stand up, spread your hands. Now say, it feels like that. Very inauthentic. Rather, I think in training, leave room for something to be unscripted, for there to be a randomness in it. If you didn't plan on taking a break at a certain point and saying, tell me where you all are with the information I'm sharing with you now. Do you even see this as being applicable to your work? Like, even in that, I know that sounds scary, but you can have a lot of fun in that when someone is like, no, I don't know why we sit for this.
Yeah.
I never get to use this stuff. And all of a sudden you explore that. I guarantee you, if you travel to explore it and keep it light on your end, people will start smiling and laughing. Because the common experience is, remember that training we did 2 years ago and we made such a big deal? We didn't do anything. And remember, Jim had to wear that bird suit and now people are crying, laughing.
Yeah.
And when 5 minutes ago, they were trying to figure out how they can get out of this training. Now they're happy they're there. They're connecting. They're bonding over, even if it's something silly, but it was organic. It wasn't scripted fun. And HR sometimes in training leans into the scripted fun too much. And that's why we're not perceived as genuine. And that's a shame because we are lovely people. I promise you. Most of us. There are some awful HR people. I mean, I guess I should say that.
It exists.
Right? But by and large, we really are. But we unintentionally put walls up around fun because we've made it be transactional in the program rather than relational in the moment.
Yeah. I'll give you 2 examples where this came to life in our org. Do you know what I'm hoping I'm saying this right, the Pachacucha method is?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So we had a training on delivering presentations in that method.
Okay.
And we were given the topic. So split up into cross-functional teams, TA, L&D, core HR, compliance, all split up together, right? So already you're like, okay. And we were given the topic, right? And I think we had 20 minutes to create the deck and deliver the presentation.
Okay.
The topics were wildly hilarious. So mine was around platypuses.
I love that.
It was the funniest 5-minute presentation I've ever given in my life. Our team went down this whole rabbit hole of, is it platypuses? Is it platypi?
Yeah.
How do we do this?
Platypi.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then the next year we had presentations and it was a serious topic. So it was, as we look at our workforce, what do you think is the biggest challenge we have right now and how are we going to address it? But the delivery of it, we gave complete creative control to the team. Yeah. So you can do a play, you can do whatever. And we ended up talking about how you think about accommodations for people. Yeah. And we did a skit on bringing animals to work. And I was able to make myself cry, like literally, that we weren't able to bring baby lambs to work. Everybody was dying laughing, right? But we got the point across. I was very upset about the baby lambs.
Bleeding lambs in the background soundtrack.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so here we are. I'm not even there, right? I was not at this training. Let me be clear, right? I was not at this training.
You were not at the training.
Right? But I'm having this shared moment with you. Yeah. I can picture things because I have a frame of reference.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I can imagine things. And now I feel like I'm a part of stuff. You know what I mean? So I say that to say not everything that's fun means that everybody has to be in the room.
Yes.
It's the energy that's taken from those that were there back into the workplace.
Yeah.
And say, oh my goodness, you should have seen this Joe had to pretend to be, a Rottweiler for this role play skit thing we did for training. And somebody else who's newer to the company is like,
what?
I'm sorry, what?
Right.
He pretended to be a dog and everybody was okay with this. Oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing. You are giving them insight into culture. You're giving them insight into rapport development. These are important intangibles that stories will help to create. Yeah. So I love that.
How do we get our CEOs on board?
Yeah. So first of all, my go-to typically is film your CEOs at any large function. So holiday parties, those kinds of things. You want to film them. Ideally, you'll catch them at a moment where they've had a little too much to drink. They do something they shouldn't. And then you just leverage that every time you want to do a program.
Hey, let me show you this video I got of you.
Oh, you don't have budget for us for this? Let me show you something that I happen to have in 12 different cloud drives that you could never get rid of. Like what I'm half kidding. What I would say though, seriously about your CEO is, I think I would sit with your CEO and say, if there's tension or if there's a lack of understanding around what's the ROI on this, why would we spend time on this?
Yeah.
I think I would not approach your CEO if you're worried that that's going to be some of the pushback. I'd approach your CEO and have literally a lunch or like a cup of coffee with your CEO and say to her, tell me what your first job was like. Oh gosh, Shari, I worked as, I worked at the cosmetics counter at Macy's, in between classes when I was going to Columbia, right? Something like that. And you're like, well, what was that like? Oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. And they start telling you stories and you're laughing with them. And your CEO may say, why did you ask me that?
Yeah.
And you say, because I really love the fact that you crack up when you share some of this. And I think we have a lot of people that work in our organization that have similar kind of like first job stories, but it made them appreciate work, like that they can look back and laugh on things now. Yeah. And I'd like to get us to a place where we all can do that safely and in like a healthy environment to even laugh about things now. Not laugh at people, but laugh about things now. And that's probably going to need us to sort of juxtapose a few things in how we communicate with each other or relate to one another. Could you walk with me through this? I have some ideas, but I really want your feedback. And I want to know that you and I can sort of talk through this together with everyone else as we roll something out. Because I think we're missing out on this simple connection that you and I had in 5 minutes, which was super comfortable. I think a lot of other people need to understand how they can do that too.
Yeah. And you just gave the script for everybody. I love that. I love that. Take notes, write it down, grab the transcript. We're always looking for, beg, borrow, and steal. Just take John's words. They're perfect.
Yes. And if it doesn't work, then you can blame me.
Right. I heard it on a podcast. Sorry. So true. We're very lucky. We have co-CEOs who are always willing to get goofy. 1 year, our CEO ran the 20 flights of our office stairs in shorts and the sweatbands, and it was to raise for charity.
I love
and
that.
It was just genuinely fun.
Yeah. Yes.
There's always opportunities to find the fun that fits them.
Yes.
Instead of trying to force them into, hey, can you do this thing that they're going to be completely uncomfortable with?
And so I'm going to give a very dated example.
Okay, go for it.
Because I'm a person of a certain age.
More Cabbage Patch Kids?
I just can't. Maybe circa pre-Cabbage Patch, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so pre-1985.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go 1979.
Okay. All right. Year I was born. I had to throw it in there. I had to take my opportunity.
This interview is going south quickly. Okay. So 1979, a new show was put on major network television on ABC. It was called The Love Boat.
Okay, I'm familiar.
Right. So if you don't know The Love Boat, my gosh, you have lived a sheltered childhood. Go on to Pluto TV. Watch. There's an entire Love Boat
You just
channel.
said Pluto TV and everybody's like, what?
What? Yeah. It's streaming and it's free, y'all. It's in your budget. Anyway, so 1979, the captain of the Love Boat, Captain Merrill Stubing, his character was gruff. That's the design of the character. Everybody else, all the other workers on the boat were the comedic influences. They got into trouble with one another, whatever. And then here came the captain to be the heavy. He was the CEO basically of the boat. And after the first half a dozen episodes, the feedback was, we love the show, right? They were talking to the viewers, to the fans. We love the show. We don't think he belongs.
Yeah.
We don't think the captain belongs. And so the show producers took that to heart, like, wait a minute, we wanted him to have this role so that there was someone who grounded things. But the perception and grounding for them was to be the serious one rather than someone who participated in the fun.
Yeah.
And so after those first half a dozen episodes, they did an episode where they allowed him to break. And it turned the ratings around on the show. And that show lasted for like 7 years or something.
I was going to say, I don't think I've seen an episode where he was sour.
Yeah.
So I must have only seen ones after that.
Yes. It changed the whole dynamic. And I'm saying that so those that sit in leadership positions like that,
yeah,
being a participant of it is much more well received than not being.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah. Oh, what great lessons. I feel like we could keep talking forever, but I do have other guests coming to visit the booth.
Yes.
This was great. It was fun. It was a genuine conversation.
Absolutely.
I think if you're listening, what a great example about let's start with coffee. Let's hear about first jobs.
Yeah.
Maybe someday we'll talk about that on the podcast because I have a great first job. So
I've got one too.
So John, as always, thank you for jumping on with me.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can find show notes and links at thehrmixtape.com. Come back often and please subscribe, rate, and review.